All right, we have just completed Unit 0 and took our test, so now we're going to go ahead and get into Section 1.1 of Chapter 1, Solving Equations. So for today in 1.1, we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at the distributive property, we're going to look at combining like terms, and then we're going to look at solving one-step equations. And then eventually we'll move into two-step. So let's talk about the first thing, distributive property. Okay, distributive property will be when we have a number outside of parentheses. So what we want to do is we want to multiply everything inside the parenthesis. All right, so let's look at a couple examples. I have a 3 in front of the parentheses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 and multiply it times both of these. All right, so 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 4 is 12. We cannot combine anything there, so we are all done. One is a letter, one is a number. Okay, let's do another one. I've got a 2 in front, so I'm going to take 2 times x and then 2 times negative 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. All right, third example. Negative 5 times 2x is a negative 10x. Here's where you have to be careful. Negative 5 times negative 3 will change to a positive 15. All right, so be careful with your negative times a negative in that problem. All right, here's a couple for you to try. We'll give you a minute to try them before we go through them. All right, if you tried this first one, you did 4 times 2x gets 8x. 4 times 1 gives us positive 4. All right, you try the next one. Now, don't let them try to trick you here. It's still a parenthesis, and it's a number outside of it. This time, they just put the number in the back part of it. So what we've got to do is distribute this 3 to both terms. So 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. All right, and then again, the last one is just to make sure you're careful with those negatives. Negative 2 times negative 4 will turn to a positive 8, and there's an x with it. All right, negative 2 times positive 2 will give us negative 4. All right, so distributive property, multiply everything inside the parentheses. Next, we're going to talk about combining like terms. So combining like terms is when we have letters and numbers mixed in. So we can combine anything that has the same letter, and then we can combine all the numbers at the end. All right, let's go ahead and look at a couple examples. I have 3x plus 4 plus 2x plus 3. I notice these two terms have x's. 3x plus 2x gives us 5x's. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, we've cleaned it up. Can't combine those because some have letters, some don't. Be careful with your signs in the second one. I have a positive 4y and a negative 3y. So 4 minus 3 is 1y. I have a positive 8 and a positive 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. I can leave my answer like that, or if you wrote this for your answer, it's the same thing. All right, so 1y plus 9 is the same as y plus 9. All right, let's keep moving. This time we've got a couple more to combine. So let's look. 2x minus 3x plus 5x. So I have three terms that have an x. 2x minus 3x is negative 1x, but negative 1x plus 5x gives us 4x's. Then I have a positive 4 and a negative 6. So positive 4 minus 6 is negative 2. All right, last one. This time I have x's, y's, and numbers. I'm going to go ahead and combine the y's first. You can do the y's or the x's. I have 8 minus 5, which is 3y. I have 2x and 4x. That's 6x's. I have a negative 4 and a negative 3, so negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Now, we are all done there. I cannot combine anything because I have x, y, and a number, so all difference. All right, so combining like terms, that'll come into play when we start to get to bigger equations later in this chapter to solve. All right, let's get to solving. All right, so when we solve, we're going to do the opposite or the inverse operation. Okay, so we have to do the opposite to move it. So if it says x plus 5, we got to do minus 5 to get it out of there. All right, so we're going to go through a bunch of examples and show the opposite or the inverse operation. All right, but first let's look at example 1. Let's read what it says. Determine if each value is a solution to the equation. So they want us to know, is this an answer to it? So they're going to tell us the answer, and we need to plug it in and check to see if it worked. So for example, number 1 says x plus 7 equals 10, and they tell us that x equals 3. Well, if I plug that in, 3 plus 7 equals 10. Well, that's 10 equals 10. Check. So yes, it is a solution to the equation. All right, let's try the second one. They give us the equation x plus 5 equals negative 2. They tell us that x is negative 7. Well, let's check. Negative 7 plus 5 equals negative 2. Well, that's negative 2 equals negative 2, which is a yes, that's true. All right, let's try the last one. They tell us negative 3x plus 4 equals negative 19, and they're telling us x is 5. So let's plug this in. Negative 3, let's put in our 5, plus 4 equals negative 19. That's negative 15 plus 4 equals negative 19. Well, negative 15 plus 4 is negative 11, and you'll notice this time it does not turn out to be true. Therefore, our answer is no, it is not a solution. All right. Let's go ahead and get to some solving. All right, solving. We are going to do the opposite to free up the variable. So our goal is to get the letter by itself. Move everything away from the letter. We'll move everything to the other side of the equal sign by doing the opposite inverse or the opposite operation. So for example, if it's plus, we need to do minus. If they have times, we need to do divide. All right, here we go. Example, x plus 11 equals 20. I need to get the x by itself, so I want to move this 11. It's in a positive 11, so I'm going to do minus 11. If I do it to that side of the equal sign, I need to do it to the other side. And some kids like to draw a line right on down in between so that they know. That's up to you if you want to draw the line. Okay? If it helps you, then make sure you do it. X, my 11s cancel, so I bring down my equal sign. 20 minus 11 tells us 9. All right, let's look at the next example. Now, you'll notice it's the same as the other problem, and I can always check my work, too. So, A, I can plug in the 9. 9 plus 11 equals 20. Check, I know I did it right. All right, now, in letter B, it's the same thing as A, except they flipped it on us. Remember, we're always trying to get the letter by itself. So I have x minus 8 on this side. I need to move this 8 away from the x. I want the letter by itself. Remember, if I do it to the right side of the equal sign, I must do it to the left. If you need to draw that line, go ahead. All right, that's going to tell me that x the 8's cancel there. X equals 4. Oops, 12. 8 plus 4. Okay. So, again, do whichever way helps you the best. Letter C. I have y plus 6 equals negative 5. So this time I have a positive 6. To move it, I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to do minus 6 on both sides of my equal sign. 6's cancel on the left, so I have y equals negative 5 minus 6 is negative 11. And remember, on a quiz or a test, we can go back and plug it in negative 11 plus 6 equals negative 5. Check, it works. All right, so that's if we're adding or subtracting. Let's look at some where we have them connected, so we have to do a little different. Now, in example 3, we have 3x equals 15. The 3 and the x are connected, which means they're technically being multiplied. So we have to do the opposite of multiply, which is to divide. If I divide both sides, the 3's cancel. 15 divided by 3 is x equals 5. Now, in letter B, same thing. All they did was flip it. Remember, our goal is to get the letter by itself. To move this negative 2, I have to divide both sides by negative 2. Well, that tells me 18 divided by negative 2 is negative 9, and that's for W. Now, in letter C, what it's saying is y divided by negative 3 equals 9. Well, the opposite of division is to multiply, so we're going to multiply both sides by negative 3. They'll cancel there, so y equals 9 times negative 3 will get us negative 27. All right, let's look at our last two. And again, x divided by 2 equals negative 8, so to move this, we want to multiply both sides by 2. They cancel here, so x equals negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. All right, now, same sort of thing. This one just takes us 2 steps. 2x divided by 3 equals 6, so I'm going to move that 3 first by multiplying both sides by 3. Okay, they'll cancel. I'm left with 18 equals, and you'll notice this time I'm left with a 2x left. Now, x is not by itself yet, so this requires one more step. So I'm going to divide by 2, and that's going to tell us that x equals 9. All right, so that's more of a two-step equation. That's where we're headed. All right, but it's important that you pick up on the inverse for now with one step. All right, that's section 1.1. We're going to do some quick practice, and we'll call it all good.